Colton says, this is what we get for hyping of an ex-Rangers player as much as we did. We got to hit the film room. We'll be better next time.
I mean, I would have to say fall.
But like Tesla, or what is it, SpaceX, but like it like explodes after it takes off kind of thing. You know what I mean? When we came into this tournament, we made a video and we talked about on our podcast who we thought this tournament was the most important for. And I wanted to kind of check in on a few of these players. I wanted to start one, maybe we can give them a rating or like a vibe check coming out of the tournament if they raised or lowered their stock. The first person that's coming to my mind is Ryan Kent, who I was kind of the last tier where I was like, I think this will be important for him because like if he does well, it's awesome, but if he does bad, that's really bad. But it's not like he needs it. But if he plays and it plays poorly, that's going to be a bad thing. So
they got to get that situation back on track, man. It was one of the most incredible 3-game stretches of footy I've ever seen to start his career. Like, I think because it's cooled down so much, we're getting a little bit of a hard time of like, oh, this is the guy that you guys were hyping up so much. I fully stand by like how hype we were based on what we saw in those games. Like, it was incredible, and I still like the fact that we have seen him do all those things in those multiple games at the start. Still, like, I still believe that is the quality that he does possess, and that's a level that he can tap into. But I mean, let's be real, like pretty much since that really hot start, they haven't been able to tap into that pretty much at all. And I think, Noah, you were talking about how fatigue could be playing into that. I think that might be part of it. I've given my take on how they haven't sort of counter adjusted to the adjustments that teams have made now that they've scouted him up and have the film. But for me, if I'm looking at how he did in this tournament, it felt like he was struggling in much the same way that he had been in the league games of sort of being isolated out wide. And like, he wasn't really able to moss his defenders like in this tournament because these teams, all three of them, are extremely good at defense. He just wasn't able to do that. And I come out of it kind of feeling the same way of like, they need to like, I don't know how to do it, but they got to figure out how to untap that level that he showed, because we know that level is in. Like, we saw it. So I don't think his stock is down, but it's not any different. It didn't get higher, or I didn't come out of it thinking like, oh, he's like back. So that's just what I want to see. One of the biggest things I want to see down the stretch of the season is just, he doesn't have to be playing every single game like he did against St. Louis or at Houston, but they got to figure out how to get that out of him more consistently than they have.
Unfortunately, we can't allow fence sitting. You have to pick up or down. So Ari, make a decision here as the arbiter of truth. Did his stock rise or fall, even if it was a little bit?
I mean, I would have to say fall. Like,
okay.
I would. I like I said, I think it's neutral, but if I'm picking one, it definitely didn't go up.
Got it. Okay, fair enough.
I'll put a marker. I think his stock went down a little bit, not a lot, but I agree that this was an opportunity to sort of show his class. I actually thought against PSG he had moments where he was very close to like having a special moment a couple times. He dribbled out of trouble, and like he had one where I think he had Ferreira streaking and he just sort of left the pass a little short. And then he had another one where he made a nice move and he just wasn't able to complete it for some reason. I'm forgetting what it was, but he was closer today than he was in the previous two games where he was really a no factor. And so but overall, this is a player who looked to me like he could potentially be a difference maker in this tournament specifically, and he wasn't. So I think you got to say his stock went down.
Yeah, I agree. I think I'm right with you too. I don't think it was this traumatic, like we got penny stocks now. We're never going to be able to unload this guy type thing. But I do think I agree with you. I thought he played fine in this game. I think that this was the best showing that we've seen since the last time that he looked like a demigod. I think it's figuring out where he is.
It is funny how many people were just like, we got to get him a DP contract now.
Yeah, which, I mean, honestly, like, here's my take on it. Here's my take on it. I think it doesn't matter because he plays in MLS. Like, his archetype can play in MLS because...
Yeah.
Like,
I think he'll be fine, but...
Yeah, like, it's not, it's not that he's, like, some, gonna leave for Europe tomorrow type of talent, but I think that he's a very effective piece if he can lock back into that, and then maybe kind of, I think, get his fitness up a little more, because we've talked about this. Major League Soccer is the opposite of where he was playing. Like, this is not a technical league. This is smash ball. Like, you're gonna run, you're gonna be physical, and I just don't think that that's like in his bag right now. I think he's still working on that, and so that's where I land. I think it went down a little bit. Number 2, Obed Vargas, the man, the $57 billion man, child. I don't know. He's a man now technically. How did we feel that his tournament went, Ari?
I don't think his stock skyrocketed through the roof, which is something that had the potential to happen if he had just like a crazy good showing. But I'm gonna say up a little bit, just because the first hurdle that he would have had to clear for it to go up was just go out there in these games and look like he belongs, looks like he can play at this level against these teams. And even if he did it wasn't like incredible and dominant, he definitely showed that he belongs and can hang at that level and can have good moments at this level. So I don't think we got the outcome we were hoping for, as far as like him being super dominant like he has been in MLS at times, and really all of a sudden having, like, imagine if he went out and scored like an insane banger today against PSG, like all that.
If he doesn't do that cutback and instead finds the top bins.
Yeah, so like that would have been like skyrocket just on its own. So we didn't get like a moment like that, but I thought he had a good solid tournament. That if I'm a team in Europe that had been looking at him, or maybe was like, oh, who is this guy? I'm looking at him, I would look at that and be saying like, he very much looked like he belonged and was playing pretty well at an extremely high level. So that's why I would say, even if it's not like skyrocketed,
I'd say, yeah, I'll say, I think maybe not significantly, but I mean, I think the big question around him was, what's he look like when he's asked to play at a higher level? And he looked like he belonged. Like he looked like he was at, I thought there were moments in various matches where he looked like the best midfielder. He didn't have a complete game where he, was dishing out assists and scoring goals or anything, but that's not really his game. His game is really dribbling out of trouble, being strong defensively. He doesn't progress the ball probably as much as you want with his passing, but you can see he doesn't make dumb mistakes. He's in the right place. He doesn't get moved off the ball easy. I think his stock's up.
Colton says, this is what we get for hyping of an ex-Rangers player as much as we did. We got to hit the film room. We'll be better next time. Yeah. Okay, all right. Go Celtic. But what I'll say about Obed is, I think that we're underselling how important these games were, and I really do think that his stock went up. He had a lot of really good defensive actions. He made a lot of great stops. He had a lot of great turns and dribbles out of trouble. And the thing that I will say that I think is the most important, he was almost invisible at times. He was almost like that player that you just knew was going to be on the ball, make the pass, move on. There was no time where I was like, oh my God, Obed. Like, I didn't have any of those moments. Maybe there were some here or there, but I really think that's like what, like Jeremiah was saying, that's what we were looking for. Can you hold your standard against a top European team, against a top South American team? And I think he did that. And I think that that's just another feather in his cap to what we already know. And the reality is like, yes, he wasn't this like superstar. And I do think that some of the pressure was in his head, like some of the decisions that he made to try and go for it and try and like make something out of this tournament, with that cutback or whatever it was. Like, I was like, there were some moments where I was like, okay, I see, like, you're trying some shit. Good for you, do your thing. But I really do. I think his stock went up a decent amount, and I think that this is going to be there were eyes on him in this tournament, marketing or not, that weren't on him previously, and that is really what he needed in this moment. So I'm gonna say stock up. I'm above both of you. I'm going up. Not like skyrocketed, but like Tesla, or what is it, SpaceX, but like it like explodes after it takes off, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Pedro de la Vega.
Yeah, we hit
PDLV, so maybe we can hit it quickly. But Ari, we were very down on Petro de la Vega to start this tournament. We were saying it might be time to pull the cord, hit the eject button, and take that offer that Craig was alluding to from whatever team it was.
Well, we should clarify. He didn't say there was an offer. He said that they were a team that was interested in before the Sounders got him. So it was. I think that was. It was maybe misconstrued a little bit as to how active that interest was. It was pretty.
Craig's not the most eloquent. I will say I love Craig. Great guy. I would drink a beer with him. I don't think he's eloquent. Vague, I think. Yes.
Well, I'll clarify my stance in that. Like, I don't think I'm not at eject button yet. But as for whether his stock is up or down coming off this tournament, he didn't play today. So it's hard to go up when you don't play in one of the games. Yeah, you got it. The first thing that you have to do to have your stock get affected positively is play.
But I'll tell you, the people who I thought helped themselves: Kalani Kosa-Rienzi, Reed Baker-Whiting, John Bell. At least in this game, was the first game where I thought they didn't miss Yamar. Like, this was the first game where he was as good. Like, nothing he did hurt them at all. I thought Jackson Reagan
in this game was insanely good.
We should shout out Jay Bell and Jackson Reagan for their performance today.
Yeah, I thought they all, I think, helped themselves. Christian Roldan, if we're going to talk about one person whose stock maybe through the roof, Christian
this is Roldan, a U.S. men's national team call-up performance.
This was his like signature type of, what are you guys doing over there? Get on the phone, call my people, let's make this happen. He said as much. He did say as much. I asked him, and he was out there campaigning, I think, to the degree that he's able to do it. He basically said, "You know my number, Poch."
And to be fair,
we call him Poke on this show, but yeah.
To be fair to my guy Poke, who I have been clowning on a lot lately, it seems like he's not like what league you're playing in doesn't really affect.
No, I don't think
call you in or not.
I don't have any real problem with the way that Poch is running the national team. I think it's good to give some guys kicks in the butt.